What happened to cheat codes? There was a time where every game had cheat codes and secrets to discover. And it was amazing. After you'd finish a game, there was a new way to experience it. Now all of that is mostly gone. The ways you can enjoy a game is limited for the most part these days. And I think it makes games worse. This video is an exploration into why there are almost no cheat codes in games anymore, and also why it should be brought back. Cheat codes were made to enable the player to do what they wanted, when they wanted, be it changing the world or changing the way you play the game, especially in open world games where you could use cheats to spawn in vehicles, or get infinite ammo for your guns, or even become invincible. You could test the limits of games, go to areas you couldn't access without cheats. For some, cheats became a gateway to modern games, creating entirely new mechanics because they got inspired by the games of old, or even adding things they really want to see in a particular game, like adding Thomas the Tank Engine into Skyrim. But if you don't have a PC, accessing these mods are basically impossible. And that is where cheat codes used to bridge the gap, but all of that is gone now for the most part. While PC gamers enjoy mods, console players are forced to enjoy a game in its limited capacity. And it becomes a problem for people who, for instance, struggle with difficulty. I mean, if cheats were enabled, you could toggle an invincibility mode or infinite ammo or infinite magic to make the game more manageable. Just imagine, you barely have time, but you still enjoy games and being in game worlds. Maybe one day after work or during the weekend, you get stuck on a boss that you can't get past because you are not strong enough. Or like in the case of a game called Sekiro, you have to have good reflexes or else you will not progress in the game, even if you enjoy the story and the gameplay. If you are physically unable to beat an enemy, you are stuck at that level until you get good. And for some people, that's the point, because not everyone can beat Sekiro. It becomes an accomplishment if you do. And honestly, there's a solid argument for both opinions. But my take is, if you buy a game, you should be able to play it however you want to play it, which is where we hit a wall, because there is something that might be the biggest reason cheat codes almost went extinct. Microtransactions are so controversial that you either hate them or you don't mind them. But one thing is for sure, nobody likes microtransactions except the publishers and investors raking in the dough. Some of these transactions are just predatory and nothing else. It's basically creating the problem, then selling the solution. And the worst thing is, it works. If it didn't, they wouldn't do it. It makes sense for free-to-play titles, but for single-player full-price games, it's unacceptable. For example, in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there is a store where you can buy a XP booster, where it basically adds 50% to the rate you earn experience points to level up and progress. And they did this because there are some main quests that you can't play unless you are that level, and they call these XP boosters time savers. This means they decided to design the game around this request to bloat out the side activities, and also completing a side quest doesn't give you that much XP points unless you get the XP booster. This is just one example out of many. The video game industry is worth $396 billion annually, according to a 2023 report. Microtransactions, like it or not, is here to stay. This is why cheat codes need to return, but it's unlikely at this point, given the strong monetization incentives. However, there is a few things developers can do to ensure cheat codes can still thrive. Remember, at the end of the day, cheat codes are still optional, not mandatory. So if you choose to activate cheat codes, earning trophies should be disabled like it has been in the past. This way, if you claim that you beat Sekiro but you don't have the trophies, you really haven't truly beat Sekiro. For all the purists out there, developers can also enable cheats after you finish the story mode, just like The Last of Us Part 2. where you can activate different gameplay modifiers according to the way you want to play. And that's the point. The fact that some developers already do this means it's not only possible, but it doesn't have to affect profits. GTA is the most profitable game of all time, and it has cheat codes. There is no excuse. Red Dead 2 has cheat codes. There's no excuse. That game had made over $700 million. So why are there almost no cheat codes in modern video games? Okay, so in this section we're gonna get a bit technical, but not too much. Essentially, why cheat codes were a thing in the first place was due to debugging. Debugging is basically testing everything that can go wrong with the game, and once you find it, you document and fix it. Cheat codes were there because there was no official streamlined way to document bugs and exploits, so they used cheats to break the game in different ways and fix it in that way. But there were a few cheats and exploits that could actually harm your console and cause permanent damage. So the ratings board required thorough documentation before a game can receive a rating. And why is a rating important? A rating is important because of consumer rights, and most stores will not sell an unrated game. And now the documentation process is more streamlined. It is way more expensive to add these cheat codes because there needs to be rigorous testing to implement any cheats. If one of them can cause harm to a console, there could be dire consequences for the gaming developers. That's why most developers do not include cheat codes in their games. But that does not mean that it's impossible to get cheat codes back, just that it's unlikely for now. But this video is my attempt to sort of address this issue and actually give my 2 cents as to why it is important to actually have cheat codes in video games. Just because it's unlikely does not mean it's impossible. So maybe we won't get a full suite of cheats, but a few gameplay modifiers won't hurt. So do you think we should see the return of cheat codes, or are you satisfied with gaming as it is now?